Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on a new purchase I just made. I'll do a little review on what I just got, but it's an 06 Power Stroke with 6.0, and yeah, recently it just had the head gasket, studs, and EGR delete done, so I'm not too worried about this 6.0. It's running good, but I don't know when the last time they changed out the fuel filter, so we're going to change it out with the Motorcraft. And you can see the part number right there if you're interested. Ended up being 62 bucks with tax. But I mean, very minimal tools. And just get yourself a little ratchet. They said you don't need a socket, but I found a 35mm socket for the fuel filter cap on the bottom. But all we're gonna do is get up here, and you're gonna see a little spot that you can actually stick the end of your extension in, and it'll just clip down in, and then just nice and easy, you're just gonna try and pry that out, and then you're gonna have a little bit of pressure, so I'm gonna let it bleed off. You can probably hear that. Just trying to be careful not to have it go everywhere. All right, so once we get that off, oh wow, that is dirty. And as you can see, you do want to change your fuel filter. I mean, this thing is really nasty. This is what the new one looks like. Way different as far as cleanliness. Oh yeah. What I'm gonna do is pull that off, make a mess, set that fuel filter down, then I'm gonna place a new one in. You can see there's a couple tabs, and I'm just gonna put it onto the cap, make sure it's nice and secure, and then all I'm gonna do is just feed it right back on down. All right, so one thing is that I was about to do that would have been a mistake is you need to make sure you change out this little O-ring, and just grab yourself a pick, whatever you got. I mean, you could get it with a flat head if you really needed to. And I'm just gonna take that old O-ring out, and it is kind of hard and brittle, and I'm gonna put in this new one. So it's always wise to change out the gaskets that do come with the fuel filter kit. And all we're gonna do is just place it back on down. And for you guys doing this for your first time, just make sure you guys can wear gloves. In most of my videos, you can tell I usually never wear gloves. All right, so I got it to where it's snug with just my hand. So all I'm gonna do is just do a little bit of a turn, and that's it. I'm not gonna go too crazy with it because it is plastic. There's not a whole lot of pressure going through this fuel filter, so that's good for that one. Now we got to get to the underside and take care of that one as well. So let's skip to the bottom. All right, guys, so this is the second fuel filter that's on these 6.0s, and I believe the 6.4s are the same way. So a 35mm socket should be able to take off this cap. It's going to be kind of hard to get to because you got all these braces, the front drive line. So we're going to see what we can't do. Hopefully I can get this ratchet on there and get it. Alright. This is actually pretty easy. Alright, so I just put a little pan underneath because it is going to leak fuel. And possibly a little bit of oil, we'll see. And I was told that you want to change these out every other oil change, so that way there's no chance that you're gonna mess up your fuel injectors or your pump or anything like that. So now that I got it loosened up, get my arm in here and finish twisting the cap off. That wind is spraying all over my face. Oh my gosh. In the face. As you can see.
Probably shouldn't do this when it's windy.
No. Alright, let's just hurry and get this off.
Oh, frick.
Oh yeah, that's nice. And it is gonna cause a mess. All right. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is pull this filter out. And what's weird is, usually the filter's supposed to stay inside that housing. Alright, so here's the old filter. Looks pretty nasty. It looks like it. And that is pretty nasty fluid. Alright, so now we're just going to replace, we do have the other O-ring. So like I said before, just make sure you replace your O-rings. You don't want to have any leaks. All right, so we got that new O-ring on. And grab this new filter. And as you can see, that fuel is pretty dirty. That fuel filter is really, really dirty. So now what we're gonna do, so with the new fuel filter, just gonna place it on in. You can see the O-ring on this side. That's gonna go inside the pump. This portion right here that looks kind of like a crown is gonna go on the cap side. So we're gonna fish this up here, get it inside that little housing. And what I'm gonna do is kind of twist it, see if I can't get it to seat in there. Alright. I'm going to get the fuel cap, the fuel filter cap. After I got that cap on there, All right, so now that I got it snugged in there, I'm gonna give it just like a little 1/8 of a turn. Like I said, you don't want to go too tight. It is a plastic cap. All right, so now let's climb out from underneath the truck. All right, so as you can see, these fuel filters are really dirty. It has collected a lot of contaminants, so make sure you guys are checking them. I mean, this is the one that goes up top, and it is really caked in. I mean, you feel all the gritness from the fuel tank itself. So just make sure you guys are changing them out. I'm gonna start changing it every other oil change. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a $50–60 job each time, but that's all right. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my hands up and I'm gonna show you how to prime up the fuel filters that we just put in. All right, guys, so now that we got the fuel filters replaced, the one underneath, right next to the drive line, and one up top, we're just gonna prime it. So all we're gonna do is place a key in the ignition, turn it to the on position. You'll actually hear your fuel pump go. We're gonna let it run for a second. And we're gonna cycle it like this about 4 to 5 times. And they say you don't have to, but for me, I just wanna make sure that I don't have any air in the lines. And they say it does bleed out the air from the system by itself, but this is just a precautionary measure I'm taking. Do what you will. Just do this one more time, and then I'll go ahead and start it, and then we'll check for leaks. So on this one, I'm gonna start it up. All right, now that it's running, let's go check for leaks. So now you just want to make sure you check your seals around that cap. I don't have any fuel coming out. All right, guys, so as you can see, it doesn't take too long. I mean, maybe 10 minutes at the most. And if this video is a little longer, then yeah, it's because we filmed it. But just make sure you're changing those out. You've seen those 2 fuel filters. I mean, they were pitch black and just full of grit. So you're gonna get that every time you fuel up at the gas station. You're gonna get all that crap that's at the bottom of the fuel tank. So change them out every other oil change. Not too bad. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it.